I think everybody has read in the international press that we have changed a decree for foreign investment into France. But that is not directly related to real estate, but very much to water or energy or whatever you have. So there are now a number of additional areas, industries. If you would like to invest into that, you have to obtain a kind of a blessing from the Ministry of Economy. So that's something which has been new, but that are the moves which have been declared when GE tried to buy a certain train business and so forth, and turbines out of France. There the ministry has reacted. I think for real estate, there's nothing comparable to that. There's not a permission you have to do that. On the other side, if you're a foreign investor, there are simply declarations you have to do. There are certain thresholds you have to respect, and you have only for statistic purposes, if you do investments into France, to declare what kind of investment it was and the amount of money you have invested, full stop. But that is only for declaration purposes. You do that to the Banque de France, and you have to do it to the Ministry of Finance. For statistic purposes, as we say. It's statistic on the one hand side and 3% taxes on the other side, to put it also this way. But I think there is nothing which really, the changes in tax law which were recently done, I think the ones we have seen from this year, there's nothing very spectacular. We had the 3% tax on dividends which are given out to foreigners. That is an additional tax, and everybody was wondering if that is in line with the double taxation treatments and with the European idea, the parent subsidiary directive. And I think everybody agrees that that is not in line with it, is incompatible with European law, is incompatible with the tax treaties. So that's one point. A pity is certainly the one where we have the transfer taxes. So even if you are selling shares in a company in Luxembourg, which is holding an asset in France, as a qualified property company, well, you have to pay even on the transaction in Luxembourg the 5% tax. That's something, at least under French law, which is foreseen, and normally you have even to do, if you have done it in Luxembourg already, to do it once again in France with a French notary, so that we can really be sure that the 5% transfer taxes are levied. So I think that are nitty-gritty things for investors to have to, on his mindset, to look into that. And there's only one structure you can use for the time being. Nobody knows how long it will last. This the SCI structure with effectively with a Luxembourg company. In this case, if you sell the SCI shares, it should be for the time being free. The capital gains should be free of tax, but we don't know how long that will last. It's only one of the last loopholes which are left. And so far, I think there's nothing particularly which has changed over the last, let's say, 12 to 18 months, which has been a downside for real estate investments in France.